I'm Mike of Mike and Allie's Vintage eBay and Etsy stores, back with you today to take a look at some of our recent thrifting finds. Well, this past weekend, of course, was Father's Day weekend, so we didn't get a whole lot of time to get out and about for thrifting purposes, but we did find a few things of interest. Hopefully you'll enjoy taking a look at them here over the next few minutes. Well, first up, let's take a look at this book right here. Found this one over the weekend. It's called The Edisons of Fort Myers, Discoveries of the Heart. It's a book about Thomas Edison and his wife Maida and their love affair of the city of Fort Myers, Florida. Talks about their time there and their contributions and connections to the city. It was written in 2004 by a man named Tom Smoot, who, according to the notes in the book, is from Fort Myers himself. The book itself is in good shape. The dust jacket does have a few minor tears on it here and there, a little bit of wear, but the book itself, the pages are good. A few of the back pages do have just a little bit of creasing in them. Looks like they might have got folded over one time when the book was shut. But nothing that's going to affect the readability of the book. Overall in good shape, and if you're into American history, this is a book that you'll find interesting. Our next book is called Complete Etiquette. Hey, check out that price tag, $1. That tells you right there that this book has got a few years on it. It does. 1956 is the date inside the book. Francis Benton is the author. It's the complete guide for living day to day the correct way. At least 1950 style. Some people would argue we should probably go back to that. Yeah, they may well be right. The book itself appears to be in good condition. The pages have yellowed a bit, as you can see right here. The dust jacket does have some wear, notably some tears around the edges, which, again, those small tears in the dust jacket and the yellowing of the pages, not surprising. The book is 60 plus years old, but it's been taken pretty good care of overall. Not in bad shape at all. Yeah, it should be an interesting read. We did sell another book similar to this not too long ago called The Bride's Etiquette or something similar to that was actually from the 1940s. So I would expect somebody would be interested in this one as well. Here's another little find over the weekend, this apple sign, Good Eatin' Apples, and I would say it's a little sign, but actually it's not that little. It's about 14 inches wide and 10 1/4 inches tall. Metal, and it's kind of heavy too, but a neat piece of country decor. Back to the books we go now. This is Maida Hater's Book of Great Cookies, a 1977 publication. Taking a look at it here, you can see there's a little bit of a tear here on the dust jacket, but other than that, the book is in good condition. Didn't see any issues with it. Haven't seen any writings or markings in it, as you see sometimes with cookbooks. This is just full of cookie recipes, obviously, from the title. And just looking through it, I tell you what, some of them sounded pretty doggone good. Maida Hater, she did a bunch of cookbooks in her lifetime. I'm sure some of you are familiar with her work. You might, if you're old enough, also be familiar with the work of her father. Her father was a 1940s radio broadcaster named Gabriel Hater. Here's one you might be interested in if you're a fan of Kentucky basketball or just college basketball in general. This is called The Rupp Years, and it's about the tenure of legendary coach Adolph Rupp at the University of Kentucky up there in Lexington. The book came out, I believe, around 1972, shortly after Adolph retired from the coaching position. And actually, he was forced to retire, my understanding is, because of the age limit. The university forced all employees, including great basketball coaches, to retire at the age of 70. No questions asked. This gives a year-by-year rundown of the Wildcats under Rupp's tenure, and there are some great pictures in here as well of some of the great players of Kentucky's past. So again, if you're a fan of Kentucky basketball or just college basketball in general, this is a book you may find fascinating to look through, just to see some of the great history of one of the great programs of college basketball. Up next, some vintage chopsticks from Northwest Orient Airlines. Remember them? Yeah, they began using Orient in their name back in the late 40s, early 50s after they established several routes into Asian markets. and I'm not sure when they quit using that name. Maybe when they merged with Republic in the 80s, I'm not sure. The Fanjet airline slogan here on the wrapper suggests that these are probably from the 1960s, but I have not been able to get a definite date as to how old these are, but they definitely have some years on them. Up next, we have this one right here. This is a 1976 book called Great Home Cooking in America, and it comes from the editors of Farm Journal magazine. Hardcover, and you can tell, of course, the dust jacket has a few tears on it, but, for its age, it's actually in pretty good shape, and the book itself appears to be in really good shape as well. I think you saw there somebody had added a recipe inside the front cover too. And as we look through the pages here, we can see that the book itself, again, you don't see hardly any yellowing of the pages. The pages haven't been written all over. Table of contents here kind of give you an idea of some of the things that you'll find in the book. Obviously, lots of recipes. You'll find some pictures in here as well, showing you what the recipes are supposed to look like, or at least some of them. Towards the back of the book here, we've got a few bonus recipes that somebody has clipped out over the years from other sources, and rather than putting them into a binder or something, they just stuck them in this book right here. So there you go, a few bonus recipes to go with, I think, the 200 or so that actually came in this book, Great Home Cooking in America. All right, here's another one I found this weekend. It's called Backwater by T.S. Stribling, and I confess I know nothing about the book or the author either one. You can tell it's got a little bit of wear, a few stain spots here on the cover. You can also see where a previous owner wrote their name and apparently the date in which they acquired the book inside the front cover. Looks like February of 1930. The book does have a publication of that same year, so obviously early in 1930 this book came onto the market. You see a small stain there on that one page there on the left. Overall, though, the book is in good shape. I really can't find much issue with it. There's just a couple of small spots that I just mentioned on the covers. The pages really don't have much yellowing to them. So, again, 80-some years old, a good, solid book for its age. All right, up next we've got some railroad history for you. We've got the history of the New York Central, the history of the Pennsylvania, the history of the Santa Fe, and the history of the Union Pacific. They're all hardcovers. They were all written and published in the 1980s, and they all, of course, have pictures and plenty of stories about the history of each respective railroad up to that point in history. The New York Central and the Pennsylvania books both cover Penn Central and the creation of Conrail. And the Santa Fe book talks about their failed merger with the Southern Pacific as well. The Union Pacific book gives their complete history. All four of them are really neat to look at if you're a rail fan. And finally, we have this one right here, another one we found over the weekend in our thrifting expedition, Barefoot in Paris, Ina Garten, better known as the Barefoot Contessa, a longtime TV personality. The book, I think, is around 2004 when it came out. The dust jacket in good shape, as you can see. The book itself is in very good condition. Does not look like it's been read through or used a whole lot, so the book, I wouldn't say it's like new or excellent, but definitely would fall into the very good condition. You can see some of the pictures right here and some of the recipes that are featured in it. Nice little pizza right here, or a pizza type dish. So again, yeah, a book that's in really good condition. I do think the inner flap there on the dust jacket in the back may have got folded over a little bit at one time, but again, that's not anything that's going to affect the readability of the book. Once again, we have links to both our eBay and Etsy stores in the description below, so here in just a second you can easily go to both of them and check out all of the little items that we have in each store. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button down there as well to keep up to date as to when our next videos will be coming out. Well, once again, I'm Mike of Mike and Allie's Vintage eBay and Etsy stores, and I thank you for taking a few moments and joining me this day. Have a great day, everybody.